The visuals of preppers often show lone individuals or single families. Many preppers feel that the more people who know about your preps, the more you make yourself a target during an emergency. Can you prep discreetly while building community among like-minded people who see the value in preparedness? Listen to find out. Hi, I'm the Urban Lady Prepper. I help single moms and solo women with practical emergency preparedness. But of course, all are welcome to be better prepared for whatever happens next. As disasters become more frequent and devastating, we'll need our support system of neighbors, friends, and family to rebuild and survive more than ever. And for single moms and solo women, building and nurturing such relationships is not only natural, but can form a network that can be uplifting, supportive, and yes, even life-saving. With a government that seems focused on cutting social services many people rely on, and also cutting vital agencies like NOAA, which predict and update us on disasters, we'll need to combine our forces like Voltron to be a strong community that can fend for itself. However, in tough times, we often face the challenge of balancing community with the instinct to protect our own hard-earned and life-sustaining stuff. Never doubt the power of people coming together to preserve their community and way of life. And while most people are good and have the best intentions, there will always be those who take advantage of human kindness. So, how do you build trust among your neighbors while maintaining your privacy and resources? The challenge lies in being transparent and open while also ensuring that your personal boundaries and privacy are respected. By setting boundaries and carefully vetting neighbors to determine who's reliable and solid, you can create a network that supports both the community's strength and your personal needs. Here's how identifying trustworthy allies and effective communication come into play. When looking for trustworthy people in your neighborhood, it's important to note the folks that are consistently involved in local initiatives and volunteering are more likely to be trusted as allies. But consider creating two circles. The outer circle represents the people you would like to have as part of the core community preparedness team, and the circle closest to you would be considered friends rather than just neighbors. Now, they might not always be the same people. Determining the right ones to trust for community assistance and whether they should also be in your inner circle is crucial. Look for those who have demonstrated reliability and responsibility in past interactions and observe their behavior in low-stakes situations. But also trust your gut. Just as you meet people that you vibe with right away, you also meet people that may put you off or make you hold back for a reason you may not be able to explain. This is the time to pay close attention to those reactions. Building a network of principled allies ensures that your community can function smoothly during a crisis, and the people you allow closest to you can be trusted enough to follow through on whatever expectations you have of each other on a more personal level. Effective communication is the cornerstone of building trust in any relationship. Whether you're a leader or an active participant in community activities, being clear, direct, and consistent in your messaging, along with maintaining open dialogue, ensures that expectations are set, roles are clear, and misunderstandings are minimized. Practicing clarity and communication regularly will ensure that there will be less second-guessing and greater efficiency when it's needed most. Honing this communication style helps you establish your boundaries and let you know early on who will honor them and who will push them so that you can handle them accordingly. Establishing boundaries allows you to participate in community activities without compromising your personal space or security. So when the conversation veers into your personal preparedness, already have in mind how much you wish to share and stand firm with those boundaries to avoid any issues or compromise. For example, you may have extra canned goods and water that you're willing to contribute to an emergency pantry, but they don't have to know how much you have beyond that. We ladies tend to overshare, and while generally harmless, when it comes to safety and your preps, practice treating both like a courtroom exchange, a straight answer with no embellishment or information not explicitly asked for. Or, if the question about either is too intrusive, personal, or revealing, you must get used to saying no, or that's information that you don't wish to share. But at the same time, remember to respect others' boundaries to model the behavior you expect from them. You do need to be transparent about your own needs and capabilities, however, so that others know what you're bringing to the group. Do you or your children have special needs? Do you know first aid? Can you build or repair things? By being open on this basic level, you're making it clear what you're able to contribute and what your most important concern is, without revealing personal information that others don't need to know. In turn, use active listening to understand others' perspectives and concerns. They may have different skills or experiences and have an angle you haven't considered. This is important when building an emergency plan or community project. Once people become aware or even suspect that you're a prepper to any degree, you must protect your resources wisely. This way, you can help out your community without risking being taken advantage of. So, 1. Make sure that you secure your physical assets discreetly, especially if your place becomes the spot where the group holds meetings. Don't let anyone know where you keep your preps unless you completely trust them. Have some kind of surveillance system, even if it's just a non-monitored one or even a fake setup. It shows you're being vigilant in protecting yourself, your family, and what you have. 2. You should be doing this anyway, but use technology to monitor and protect your digital information. Once people find out that there's more to you than just being that single woman neighbor or that lady with the kid, they may think you may have a stash worth trying to steal. 3. Always share resources in a controlled and limited manner, or refrain from sharing at all beyond what you committed to the group. Sharing resources is super important for community support. You want the collective resilience. Collective resilience refers to a community's ability to withstand crisis through mutual support and resource sharing. You may wonder if it's even worth doing. However, be aware that communities with some form of a preparedness plan recovered faster and with greater overall efficiency as they had a plan and a cache of resources. You may not be aware that right now, there are rural communities that haven't had a budget for an emergency preparedness plan for years, even before this current administration, which wants to take what little federal help is available. So, how can you build a neighborhood network and stash, achieving that balance of trust, transparency, and cooperation? Well, here's how. First, you have to get your neighbors involved if there is no established group. Engaging neighbors in emergency preparedness begins with open dialogue. Find the proactive community members to be the core of the group and communicate to the neighbors what you wish to do and why. Then host regular meetings or events that can encourage participation and awareness. Select a meeting place like the local community center, event hall, or church, and a regular meeting date such as the first Wednesday of every month. You can organize community workshops focused on emergency planning. Invite the local fire department or other emergency professionals who could help coordinate disaster response with the volunteering residents. Create a neighborhood contact list for quick communication. Develop a shared emergency plan with input from all residents and select members willing and able to serve as liaisons between the community, local first responders, and town and county officials. Have a few members agree to obtain first aid CPR AED certification. The Red Cross provides online class location information, or your local fire department can offer you further guidance. Better still, CERT, called CERT, the Community Emergency Response Team, is a FEMA-derived program that educates volunteers on preparedness for disasters that may occur in their community. Professional responders recognize the program, which provides a nationwide, consistent support plan they can rely on. CERT trains volunteers in basic disaster response skills such as fire safety, light search and rescue, team organization, and disaster medical operations. I'll provide a link to the CERT program in this episode's description. And I'd like to thank the All Hazards Prepper for letting me know about this program. I had no idea it existed. Once you have a steady and reliable core group, you need to find a way to secure the community resources. So, develop a community resource pool where contributions can be anonymous. Use locked drop-off points for physical goods, or designate someone as a drop-off point so the goods can be relocated to a secure location, such as a community center or a church. Choose 2 people to be responsible for cataloging the items, and use a method to keep track of them that allows everyone to see what's there, what may be needed, and replace expired items. Establish guidelines on the fair distribution of resources. Regularly review and adjust sharing procedures based on feedback. And encourage skill sharing and skill development to reduce dependency on outside resources. You can do all of these things in a way that keeps you safe and respects your privacy. You can balance community resilience with personal security through careful planning and smart execution. Now, you may say to yourself, well, I've seen episodes of Doomsday Preppers and other prepper media where they are completely open about what they have and what they do with members of their community. Why would I gatekeep and not share whatever resources I have with my neighbors? This is a legit observation, and for many, it is a moral conundrum. However, as I mentioned in my last episode, people become entirely different animals when faced with an emergency or a flat-out disaster. Those people you invited into your space unvetted, acting all polite, may be the first ones to try and clean you out at the first hint of desperation. So you must use discretion about your approach to this, taking into consideration the people who live with you and ensuring that their needs are met first, because everyone else is going to be doing the same for theirs. Don't allow your generosity to have things taken not just from you, but from the people you care about. Thanks for listening, and stay safe out there. Until next time, this is the Urban Lady Prepper signing off. I'm sure I've given you some things to think about as you go through the upcoming week. Has this episode resonated with you? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to click the link in the podcast description to get your free Essential Prepper checklist. While there, get one of my cool designs on a shirt, hat, mug, and more at my Redbubble store. Or you can always buy me a coffee or get a Jace case for your emergency medical needs. It helps support what I do, and I really appreciate it. Join me on the socials, especially on YouTube, where I'll be uploading videos for my blogs from urbanladyprepper.com. I appreciate your time with me. Stay safe, stay sharp, and be ready.